Welcome to Dad's DeFi space. Now is the time that we can cut through all the noise, get to what's real in the crypto and DeFi space. And I want to help you build conviction in this run. So if you're new here, my name is Kevin. I'm a teacher, I'm a father, and I'm a DeFi investor and leverage trader who shares exactly what I'm doing with my own portfolio in this market. All the wins, all my risk, the mistakes, and all the lessons I've learned along the way. So if you enjoy real and truthful content, please like and subscribe and ping that notification bell and share this video with those out there who would appreciate. So today's stream is action-packed, and we're going to be talking about whether Bitcoin has already topped, or is this a local top, or is the blow-off top about to happen? Is it still ahead? None of us truly know, but we can take a look at the market and the charts and make our decisions based off of probabilities. We also are going to look at Avant and Astar, new competitors to Hyperliquid, the darling of this market cycle in the altcoin space. So grab a coffee, or if you're watching later, maybe something else to drink, and drop a hello in the chat. And a special shout out to everyone in my free Telegram group and website members, and all of new subs on Rumble, and of course all you all out in YouTube land. So last week on X, I asked if the local top was in, and what we got was actually a few private messages of people who had a lot of differing opinions about what is to come as we head towards the end of the market cycle. Some say yes, and some think there'll be a cool off before a blow off top. Although I think the ones who are in the cool off camp are few and far between, at least right now. But I wanted you to look at the Altcoin Season Index, right? And the Altcoin Season Index is a metric that takes the top altcoins. And right now we are sitting at 77, 76% on the Altcoin Season Index. Now, once we are above 75, we are technically in altcoin season. So don't let anybody tell you differently. Right now, we are in altcoin season. Now, this is where I get concerned. If you look back at the chart over the last 90 days, we've gone up into altcoin season. We touched it here, almost here. We went above it here. But the last time we were above altcoin season, it was only for approximately 1 month. And right now, we have been above the 75 level from September 6th to today, September 20th. So we're looking at about 14 days. So I am thinking that over the next 1 to 3 weeks, maybe even sooner, we are going to experience a correction. Now, of course, I am not a fortune teller. I am just some dad sitting in the den, hoping the kids don't bother me during the live stream. But enough of the jokes. The point is that we are 2 weeks above in altcoin season. And I don't think we're technically in the real altcoin season yet. I do believe we will correct. So I am preparing for that. And this does not mean that I'm selling out of my positions. I have instituted a Bitcoin short that I told my free Telegram group. So if you want those moves, please consider joining our free Telegram group before it becomes gated. And also, this is the time that if a correction occurs, we need to be looking at what coins we want to put our hard-earned money into and where our conviction lies. And it's good to know that going into the correction, not while it's happening. The emotions get too strong. You will not make the best decisions. And it's better to have a plan. Now, if you take a look at all the different altcoins, you can see, look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to talk about Astar in this stream. I wish I would have picked this up 48 hours ago. It has pumped crazy, and we're going to have a discussion of Astar and also Avantis to show which alt is going to being the competitor of Hyperliquid, but with both plays, one from Coinbase, one from Binance, I am thinking that I'm probably going to allocate into those two and not so much into Hyperliquid, because I think in the near term, those two will outperform even Hyperliquid. Now, they have pumped a lot, so there could be a correction. So I already have a Avantis position, but not an Astar position at this point. I'm just looking for a good entry. Although I missed a good entry a couple days ago. I hope some of you were able to latch onto that one and are sitting on some nice and some hefty profits, right? Now, next, what I would really, truly like to do is take a look at some of the charts. Before we do that, I just got to scan down this. So let's look at this. All Bitcoin is way down here at the list, 16% up over the last 90 days, where every single coin you see in this list is performing better than Bitcoin right now. I got a feeling that Bitcoin is going to take some of these profits back, and that a lot of these traders are going to probably be consolidating either back into Bitcoin or back into stables, but we can talk about that in just a minute. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin chart today. Just for a recap, right before the last live stream, we took a lot of Bitcoin profits on our leverage position at 114K, right? This was a long that we were running that we took all the way down in the, gosh, I can't even remember now, 112K region. We rode a small position of that up all the way to 118. And that original position had a stop loss set at 113.2. When we got up to the top of the range around 116, 117, we were able to enter a Bitcoin short on Blowfin, which I did share with my my Telegram group, and also my private community on the website. Consider joining, of course. But this trade that we are in right now is sitting in profit, and it's going to be my hedge as we have this possible correction. So before I go on to anything else, I want to take a look at Bitcoin's chart. If you go in here, hold on one second, and I got the indicators I want. We touched into the bottom of the bull market support band 3 weeks ago. And since then, we have been on a rampage, increasing the price from about 107. I did not hit the bottom of this range all the way to, let's see, 117.5. So this trade was actually spot on for us. Of course, you can't win them all. I've had some bad stinkers too over the last few months, and I'm sure many of you out there have also. Now, what we are looking at now is quite possibly how far could Bitcoin correct. So we're going to take a look. Okay. So the first couple of prices that I'm looking at are, well, obviously this 0.38 level, which is sitting at 113.5. Right here, let's mark it. And I'm checking out this one that's at about 110, which was kind of right where a little above this is where we were able to enter that short position. And what's so interesting is that the retracement could easily get all the way back down to the bottom of the range, which was 107.1K. And if we lose this, right? Let's turn this one off. If we lose this, we could actually revisit a little bit lower, which in my opinion would be right around here where we have skyrocketed up. And let's go to the daily chart so I can get a little more influence here, but it's right about here, okay? And that's sitting right at like 111. But if we break that, I mean, next, my best guess is going to be this area of support and resistance where we've tapped into a lot here, which is right around 105. Let's mark that 105.6. And then of course, if you look at this anymore, we could also go back down into this 101, 100 range. This is kind of the bottom of what I'm looking at, which is 98,000. I'm going to be very scared if we break below 100K, but as long as we stay above 101, 102, hopefully we don't even go below 105K. I think anything in this area is going to be an excellent accumulation zone. And I do believe we will go back to all-time highs. I just think we're going to have to wait a little bit before that happens. Now, the next chart I wanted to take a look at today is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Now, I talk about this chart so much on my channel, right? Because as soon as we tapped into the lower or below the bull market support band and regain the bull market support band, then regain the top part of the bull market support band, Ethereum just exploded. It's been awesome. And I wish I would have looked into this chart just a little bit more, because honestly, I think that we are going to get up to much higher levels, 0.04, 0.05. I'm watching the 0.077 and 0.061 levels on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. And right now, if you take a look, we're having a, let's go to weekly actually. On the weekly, we just had a stochastic RSI cross down, as you can see right here. And after we had the cross down, we've been in a downtrend. We did take a short, we reversed to a long. That one didn't work very well for us. I'm still in that trade, but it's getting pretty close to being invalidated. And I actually think that Bitcoin could end up going back into this range below 0.032, but we're just going to have to wait and see. At minimum, I think we're going to touch into this trend line that been going on for so long. And remember, if you have not watched the channel, the Ethereum Bitcoin chart is one of the best charts to be watching, because when this chart's going up, that means Ethereum and altcoins are performing better than Bitcoin. And when the chart's going down, it means, well, Bitcoin is performing better than altcoins and Ethereum. About this, let's take a quick look at Ethereum. Now, taking a look at the Ethereum chart, looks well, there goes all my support and resistance lines. It's crazy. Let's go down to the daily. So need this one. I don't know why this line's here. There we go. All right. I have 4,000 marked. We could possibly revisit it down here. If you look on the daily, we have broken below the $4,500 level, which very much is a zone of support and resistance. What I'm going to do is going to mark this part of the chart real quick, just because I believe that this is something we need to pay attention to with Ethereum. If we're breaking below this zone, if we break below this zone, I'm going to start getting a little worried. So I'm going to mark that on my chart right there. And then, of course, as long as we stay above 4,000, I'm feeling pretty good. But if we break below 4,000, I see something around 3,900, 37, and as low as, let's see, what's this, 3478, which is all the way back at the bull market support band. So this, to me, a drop way down to here is probably a worst case scenario. But as long as we bounce off the bull market support band, I'm still bullish on ETH. And to be honest, I'm going to be stacking a lot more ETH and altcoins than I will be Bitcoin in this next little bit. I pretty much have established my Bitcoin position other than what I dollar cost average, usually on a weekly basis. And I tend to do most of that with Kraken. I used to with Coinbase, and a little bit on crypto.com. If you need a centralized exchange, please consider using our links in the description. It helps support the channel. And those are the American exchanges that I use. Now, Coinbase, I have not been using as much. Now, I still keep it open. I use the card. I onboard fiat through it. But after the data breach and some of the stuff, I have been a little concerned about some of their business practices. But that is a discussion for another day. Now, what I would like to do next is show a discussion of some other things, right? So we've been talking about Bitcoin and ETH. I also want to talk about Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance is the one we want to see in a massive downtrend. When this one is bleeding down like it has been on the daily, right? that means altcoins or Ethereum are taking on more dominance than Bitcoin. Over the last little bit, what's awesome about this, we have had on the daily a blue cross up. On the weekly, we are, blue cross up on the weekly too. So we think there's a possibility you're going to start to see this correct. It's hitting down 57.35%. We have touched into it, and I could see us going back up close to 60%. When that happens, altcoins are going to suffer. So we have been rotating some lending positions to go slightly short. And that's why we took on the Bitcoin short on Blowfin. We'll look at that towards the end of the stream. But Bitcoin dominance, you definitely need to watch this. The first cycle I was in, and really into this cycle, I didn't follow it as well as I should. And I lost my ass and it was handed to me. I should have listened to all the analysts out there screaming to pay attention to Bitcoin dominance. So I'm hoping that if you hear that from me, you can make better decisions when you're at that point. Okay. Now, the next thing I wanted to take a look at is, let me find it, USDT. Now, the next thing I wanted to take a look at is, let me find it, USDT dominance, which is way, way, way over here. Nope. There we go. Now, this is an article that we wrote about on Dad's DeFi space, and kind of a mini masterclass article on how the USDT dominance chart is something that smart altcoin and crypto investors are going to look at, right? This is probably one of the most important charts along with Bitcoin dominance and the Ethereum Bitcoin chart that altcoin investors should be following on a regular basis. The USDT dominance chart actually, when USDT dominance is up, it means people have rolled back into stable coins and they are not being degens right now at all. And when this chart is at low, like it is down here, it's big time to be obviously more bullish on altcoins, right? This is people taking profits as it's going back up, right? So USDT dominance actually measures how much of the total crypto market cap is being held within Tether. Okay. Now we know there's more stable coins, but Tether is the largest stable coin in this space. And it's usually a sign as it's going up, as the dominance of stables going up, that is a sign of safety. Now, this is obviously the stable coins that are already within the market. So when this metric falls, USDT dominance, when it falls, it's a signal that capital is getting restless. It's starting to rotate into higher risk plays like altcoins, new projects, meme coins, DGNE LPs, and other forms of speculation in this space. That is when the upside starts to begin, right? So you really need to pay attention to support and resistance zones of USDT dominance, and it can very much be a indicator of soon-to-be momentum in the market. So what is a real-world example of USDT dominance? Well, here's what's interesting. Recently, over the last few weeks, USDT dominance was nearing 3.7%, right? This was also on the chart forming a descending triangle. I was hoping I had a chart down here to show you, but I don't. I'll have to pull it up. But here's the thing. Analysts would signal that as capital leaving stable coins, but let's take a look at the chart, and I want to show you this real quick, okay? We're looking at USDT dominance, right? And if we look at this on a smaller time frame, let's go down to the daily, right? We have kind of a support right here around 4.24%, right? Remember, when this is going up, right, prices of altcoins are tending to go down. And it looks like we may be taking a bounce, right, off this trend line. Pretty crazy, right? You can also see down here our stochastic RSI on the daily cross the blue cross. And then right here on the weekly, now we still have a blue cross down. So obviously we're going to need to wait and see how it plays out. But if you see us get back above the bull market support band here, which is sitting, on the daily, but like 4.5%, then I could be a little nervous that a lot of capital is starting to rotate back to USDT. And this could be the predecessor to the correction that I was talking about earlier. It's hard to say at this point, but it is something that I personally am going to be keeping an eye on. But I hope that gave you some information of an important chart that you can keep an eye on if you're interested in investing in altcoins. A lot of people just want to throw out like, hey, buy this coin, buy that coin go up, make some profits, diamond hands this. It just, you're not going to be very successful in this place playing that kind of game. Okay. The first chart I wanted to take a look at is Sol. We're going to do this almost marathons. You can see my first profit taking zone on Solana, but I did rotate a little bit when we were up at $240 to $248. I switched some of my lending position to Solana. Because I actually thinks the price of Solana is going to drop, and I'm going to take a little bit money off my lending position based off of the spread. That is a bearish DeFi strategy that I'm probably going to be making a video about in the near future, because we are rounding to the end of the cycle where bearish strategies and delta neutral strategies are going to become more into play. But take a look. Solana has popped over the last 2 weeks, a minimum of, about 23 to 25%. We are heavily above the bull market support band. And what do you see? We hit below it. We shoot up above it. So Solana looking super bullish right now. But what I'm seeing is almost like a lower low. If you use, now, if I go down to the daily, it's a high. It almost looks like a higher high. That's crazy. But we didn't hit this one. So technically on the weekly, this would be a lower low. So we could correct. I'm keeping an eye on 230, the 215 to 212 region. And then, of course, way, way down, we got 200 right here. I probably need to mark that one too. And then 181. These are just some levels that I'm keeping an eye on as I think this possible correction is going to go, because I will add to some of my positions when this starts happening. Solana chart has been so bullish over the last few weeks, but we are actually thinking about shorting here pretty soon. Although I don't know if I'm going to short Solana. We're already in a Bitcoin short, as I talked about earlier. If you want some of those moves, check out our free Telegram group, link in the description, right? But I want to share out some of our share out and make sure that other people know that it's here. Hold on a second, and we'll share it on X real quick. Can't get it out everywhere, but at least I can get it out somewhere. And then we can also share this to our free Telegram group. And then we'll get right back to it. All right, post Telegram. There's our free Telegram group. I was going to come to this at the end, but you can check out our closest Bitcoin short. Take a screenshot, but I'll go back to that at the end. Talking about Solana, the profit taking zone being 290. I do believe we'll have a correction. I'll probably take some profits when we get back up to the top of this range, which is about 250 on the chart. I don't like to hold on too long. I like to ladder my profits, dollar cost average into my positions and ladder out to my profits. So I would have nobody, not me, not anyone in this space is going to be that good at timing the top of the market. So you come up with a strategy that forces you to take profits throughout. And a little bit later, probably the next live stream, we're going to talk about how we can use liquidity pools to ladder out of the market. I'd like that one. But anyway, so take a look at some more altcoins. Take a look at Sway or Sue. As you can see, if we go on the weekly chart, I got to get rid of this. I already have all my levels off the fibs marked and also some support and resistance on the chart. Our breakdown sits right at the $3.35 level. $3.40 level. That's one that we're really going to watch over the next little bit, because I do believe we have a downtrend. We touched down at the bull market support band over the week, and we pumped back up to almost $4. But Sway is now on a downtrend. I wouldn't be surprised if we correct. And then eventually I do think it will continue on. Like hold on one second. Maybe we bounce a little like this. Maybe we, right here, break below, right? And we head down. Maybe we get all the way down to 276. Maybe we don't. But then after that happens, we gain more strength and we break back out, retest, and then continue on. My point is that would not go all in at this point. I think we're going to get some better entries in the near term, unless you're one like me who tends to just dollar cost average into some of your high conviction plays and utilize DeFi and leverage trading to amp up your positions. All right. So the next one I wanted to take a look at is TAO today. We've been exploring staking TAO. We actually did some staking with a few subnet tokens, right? And the subnet tokens we looked at were specifically, hold on one second, I need a different chart. I'll just use the Coinbase one, that's fine. All right. This is the TAO chart, right? And it's been in a downtrend. It got as high, this second high, which was a lower high of $462. We've been kind of trading right around the bottom of the bull market support band, around 350. If we break below this, I expect us to revisit around 310, 311. I think this could be an excellent place to accumulate TAO. TAO has the same tokenomics as Bitcoin, and I like the way it's kind of decentralized AI companies working on the chain. You can stake your TAO within the protocols, earn yield, show support for the tech, I guess you can say. And some of them very much have a use case that should and possibly be considered in this market. But TAO is one we're very bullish on, but we have had a blue cross down on the daily stochastic RSI and on the weekly. We're going to have to keep an eye. We still have a blue cross up, but that doesn't mean much of anything, because that blue cross up could easily head back down. So this is one we need to keep an eye on. A break below around 334, 335 is going to show that we may revisit lower prices with TAO, but that just gives me more time to accumulate. So I'm good with this one. Now let's take a look at AVAX. This one was not in the list, but holy wow, it is pumped this week. AVAX over the last 2 weeks has pumped, 40 some odd percent. We have flipped some of our DeFi positions. We do have a AVAX lending position that has helped us to accumulate more AVAX, and an AVAX Black liquidity pool that's probably performing very well on DeFi. We'll look at it in just a minute. Why did AVAX pump? They are developing a kind of a fund. This fund is going to require a lot of buying of AVAX, so therefore people are piling in before that possible price appreciation. But this one could already be priced in. It's hard to say at this point. So I don't know. I'm watching the bottom of this range, which is $30, and then of course the lower part of the bull, or the upper part of the bull market support band, which is $24.70. Okay. But that's AVAX. We'll have to revisit this one later, but I'd love to see us get back to like $58, $60. And that's what I'm watching on this chart. Awesome. But that's not in the over the next 3 to 4 months. Anyway, let's take a look at our favorite darling Aerodrome, the DEX on base. As you can see, my fib levels, please watch our video of our Aerodrome price prediction. Aerodrome has looked so on fire recently. It topped off around $1.60. It popped up again to $1.37. I do believe we are going to see an Aerodrome correction here in the near term. Maybe the lower end of the bull market support band, around 90 cents to $1. Maybe even this lower range. Let's check it on the daily. Really, we could go as low as here. I did not mean to move that. Oops. Anyway, we'll just redo these fib levels at a later time. So let's take this off the chart. All right. So anyway, this chart looks so dang bullish. I would like to see eventually a higher high. Go back and watch our Aerodrome Finance price prediction video. Check that out and tell me what you think. Let me know in the comments. All right, let's move on. This is the final one I really wanted to look at today. Let me find it. Actually, we're going to hold off on our last 2 altcoins because I wanted to kind of wait and check these out closer to when we talk about Avantis. Now, we're going to take a break from the charts. I want to go over some news real quick. First is FTX recovery plan, 1,800%, which is crazy. We have a small wrapped ETH arrow position. I took a lot out of this one. I'm probably going to take some out of this one too because I want to have USDC to deploy after the drop. And then finally, the rest of the positions are ones I'm just watching right now. The one I'm most interested in is this Wrapped ETH syrup position and Wrapped ETH link position, but it has not been earning good fees. So I withdrew out of this one not too long ago. Our entire portfolio is sitting at $1,426 and is earning an average APR of 539%, although it's skewed off because of the Avant position. So I'd like to check this again in a couple of weeks. I do expect the APR to drop in this one because it is flying right now because of a little bit of degen yield farming with this Avant USDC. Now, a little hint of advice, don't just jump into any of these pools. Please watch the charts, develop your own support and resistance, enter at the bottom of the range, not the top of the range, because the value will drop on you. Let me know in the comments what kind of content you want to see. What pools are you farming right now? Do you see Bitcoin topping? Or do you see it happening a little bit later in the cycle? What should I cover in my next yield hunters, right? A Sway blockchain pool, an Aerodrome pool, DeFi tuna. What do you want? Join our free Telegram group and Dad's DeFi space to check out our latest yield hunters, which is a deep dive on the Avant wrapped ETH pool that I just shared with you. And even if you missed the live stream, I'm posting my vault moves, my leverage trades, and everything else in the free Telegram, and then later in my private group on the website. Please join, become a part of our community that I'm building right this moment. Now, what I would like to say before the end, please consider joining us on Rumble. We did have our YouTube temporarily banned for about 24 hours. I don't want that ever to happen again. So add us on X. You can always get in contact with me. Join our free Telegram. You'll always see my moves. Download our free crash course. It's free. Education is the best thing you can do for yourself in this space. And add us on Rumble if you're on Rumble. That way, if YouTube bans us, you can still check out our content there. And please, before you leave, have a wonderful weekend. Go touch some grass. And I'll see you on the next stream and in my next video. I appreciate each of you. Peace.